Riding with the Rabbi.
Hello everybody, we're back here riding with the Rabbi. This is our first 3 generations at once riding with the Rabbi. We find ourselves now I think technically we're in Suffern, right? Suffern, New York.
Actually, this is Suffern. Wesley Hills is
Wesley Hills.
Yeah.
Wesley Hills, Suffern, but known as the greater Muncie area. We have just picked up Ashton Halperns' brand new tefillin for his bar mitzvah coming up very, very soon. And we had the privilege of Ashton getting his tefillin together with his dad, Jeremy, and grandfather, Dave. So before we do anything, just Dave, tell me, like, what are your thoughts now? You have 2 grandsons, and you have 2 bar mitzvahs in such close proximity in the same shul. So that's got to be like a ball of nachas, or I mean, can you put it to words?
It's such a blessing. I can't even believe it. It's happening after what happened 80 years ago, to see such nachas. Thank my grandmother. My mother Gladys can see it, and it's really special. They're wonderful boys. I'm very proud of them.
And and there's a special bond between grandparents and grandchildren. You know why they get along so well? They have a common enemy. That's what they say. Right. So Jeremy, tell me what are your thoughts going into the bar mitzvah? As obviously, you have I've been a part of your other simchas, 2 bat mitzvahs, Baruch Hashem, and boys, it's always different as I'm learning as we go along. So tell me, what do you what's going through your mind now? I mean, you see, helping your son put on tefillin and all these things. So it's a really nice continuity, which is the most important thing that we can do.
It's overwhelming, to be honest. He's standing there this morning as the sofa was handing Ashton and putting us tefillin on for the first time, and being there with my dad, and I'm so proud of Ashton. He's really been amazing and such a good kid, and working hard towards his bar mitzvah. Hashem, thank you to the Rabbi for all of your help, and to be back in Muncie, where I grew up originally till I was 10, at the same time, at this moment with all 3 generations, it's overpowering.
We actually just went by your childhood home.
Yeah, I just showed Ashton the house we grew up in, and brings back a lot of memories.
How many years did you live there?
78. I lived in that house for 8 years. 8 years.
8 years, wow. And Ashton, what are your thoughts? Are you excited for your bar mitzvah?
Yeah.
Tell me let's talk about important things, like how good is your teacher?
Amazing.
Go on.
He's good looking, he's nice, smartest man in the world.
One of the things is that I remember, and this happens a lot, but when we started, you probably didn't think you could do it. And you really did it, and it's what you've learned and accomplished. And by the way, it's not because of me or your father or your mother, your grandparents, who are incredible people, but only you could make you do it. And I think you should give yourself some credit that you really worked hard, and you really made it happen. So I'm very proud of you for that and for the amount of work that you've done. But if I were to ask you, like, what does a bar mitzvah mean to you? Using other words other than literally, basically, and like.
Transitioning from a kid to a man.
So you're a man in 8th grade.
Yes.
Okay. Are there a lot of men in 8th grade? Well, I mean, look, I think thinking about kind of your family history, knowing where you come from, and you have a tremendous amount of responsibility. You're going to have obligations on you, like it or not. Obligations to our people, and I think it's a very, very important thing. So, Dave, if you had a message for your grandson on the eve of his bar mitzvah, what would you say to him, or any day?
Well, first I want to tell him how much I love him. He's such a really special young man, and hope he'll continue to go in the road. He's come on a good road so far, and continue. He's got a lot of liveliness in him, and he's got a good heart, and he likes to have fun, and he likes to help people too. I know he's working on a very special project for his bar mitzvah where he helps people, and I hope he'll continue to do it and to enjoy life, to stay close to us.
I love that. And Jeremy, what would your message be?
Oh, you can't top that, but I agree. I'm so proud of him, especially, I'll tell you, coming into this situation with the Delta variant and everything sort of closing back down a little bit, we had a tough choice to make. And Ashton knew there were three main parts to his bar mitzvah. Obviously, most importantly is Shabbos Mitzvah Hashem in October, where he'll read Chayei Sarah and Haftorah. And secondly was this project he's working on to raise money to help bring Israeli innovations and technology to Africa, for water and power. And third, of course, was this gigantic, beautiful party we were planning having. And unfortunately, when we had to tell him a couple weeks ago that we couldn't have this party, I was afraid he'd be very upset. He actually wasn't. He understood, and he asked if it means we could do more for the people in Africa, which just showed everything to me. That he's that kind of special boy, and I'm so proud of him about it.
That's amazing. I did not know that. By the way, so we've worked with Innovation Africa, and they're absolutely incredible about literally bringing water. See, I use the word literally because I meant it. Literally bringing water to people who don't have it, and allowing them to be self-sufficient. And what better mitzvah? And we saw in your invite for your mitzvah project that this is the parsha Chayei Sarah where a lot takes place at a well. So how appropriate then that we should have your celebration and your mitzvah having to do with water. Now, I'm going to just change gears slightly for a second. So, David, you're one of the founders of our Shul, of course, and which is now, I think it's 26 years ago. 26 years ago, which is amazing because you were only 40 now. So that's wow. You've got a very head start, very young, very advanced for your age. But did you ever envision, or I always wonder, like, what did you think it would become when you founded the Shul? Certainly thinking about your children, both your children living in the community, and now seeing, we've seen, let me just think, 4 bat mitzvahs of your grandchildren, Kanai and Hara, and now 2 bar mitzvahs. I mean, that's got to be something incredible. So I'm just curious if you ever dared dream about such a moment, or what you had envisioned for the community at the time.
Well, in the beginning, we didn't have such lofty dreams. We bought an very old house. Miles Berger helped us to buy the house, and we tore it down. We built a house. We needed a shul there because we were all walking to suburban Torah, and that was quite a schlep down the hill. In the winter, sliding down, and in the summer, schwitzing on the way up. And we figured we must have something locally, and it was very small in our minds. But somehow, when we opened up in that little house, the first service was Rosh Hashanah night, and 300 people came, and we fit. It was like some kind of a miracle that it happened that way. And after a while, then we started to realize, hey, this is really can be something. But in the beginning, we just wanted to have a place to daven, and there was no kiddush room. The lobby was the size of a telephone booth, but somehow it grew, and Baruch Hashem, now with our second great Rabbi, we've really come a long way, and I have a lot of nachas from it coming to Shul.
By the way, as well you should. As well you should. Really, really should. To see something grow, and from someone's dining room table, and then it becomes a real entity. That's something that's well worth being proud of. And I mean, I would love hearing the stories of in the morning minyan, like they had to organize the parking so that whoever had to leave first would be able to get out first, because there was limited spots in that driveway. We're gonna go straight here. See, David actually was giving me directions here in the mountains. We're passing by Halperns. So anybody wants to take a trip down memory lane to the Catskills. Ashton, what's your earliest memory, or I'll give you a choice. You can say what's your earliest memory, or what's your favorite part about Eitz Chaim?
Probably like the night where we have the barbecue outside with all the fun like games and stuff.
Yes, our annual anti-dinner dinner. Right. That's a good answer. I like that. So it's just fun, right? So I think one of the sort of the taglines or the underlying themes that we have for the Shul, especially when we speak to other people about it, is that it just feels like home. It's time just feels like home. Jeremy, would you agree with that?
Absolutely. It's the most comfortable environment, the most wonderful people. I think it's so welcoming. to anybody. And you can see now, thank God, we have all these new families joining, and they come in, and everybody's excited to meet them and spend time with them, and really, you feel pulled in, and in such a wonderful way.
Right. And how much do you think your either involvement in Shul, or certainly the example that you saw at home your whole life, now you serve as the co-president of Joseph Kushner Hebrew Academy, Kushner High School, and that obviously takes a great deal of your time. I think it's a tremendous amount of dedication on your part. How has your experience at Eitz Chaim, or being raised in the home in which you were raised, how has that helped you or molded you to fill the role that you do, that you take on right now?
I feel I was sort of just born into a family that believed heavily in community and tzedakah, and from day one I was shown that's the way to be, and it feels just natural to me. It's the greatest honor of my life to be able to be involved in Kushner Academy, and really I feel so blessed for the position. And honestly, it's something that I really enjoy, and I think everything we do in the shul I enjoy so much, and the community in general.
Well, I think there's also a very healthy sort of symbiotic relationship between the shul and the school, which is, I think, extremely important for a community like ours, and the quality of education, which I know firsthand because we're direct beneficiaries of that education as a result of your hard work, is quite evident. And I think that anyone who even just walks in the doors, one can see. And I think perhaps the greatest thing you do is you're leading by example, much like you were led by example. And you saw it growing up in your house, and now Ashton and Jazzy and Brianna, they see it every single day. There's always a meeting, there's always a committee, and there's always a purpose, there's always a cause. And I think that's really the best lesson. That's the best message. The best message we can give to our kids is the one that we show them, more so than what we say to them. And you certainly show them quite a bit. So, Ashton, I'm really excited to celebrate with you. When I say celebrate, I mean have more lessons. And by the way, this is not the end. I have other things in mind for you, because unfortunately you tipped your hand, and now I see what you're capable of. So we're just going to make you do more things. We're going to learn more as we go along. So this is not the end of something. This is just merely a stop along the way. Super proud of you, Mazel Tov, and thank you for putting up with me, and Jeremy and Abby, Mazel Tov, Sharon, Dave, Mazel Tov. I'm so glad to be a part of so many of your family simchas, but really all the work that we do in the community, and for Klal Yisrael, and for Medinat Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael, is I feel privileged to sit in the chair in which I do. So thanks for spending a couple of minutes with us, and let's only celebrate simchas together for many, many, many years to come. Take care.
Amen.